Hello students, welcome to this video lecture on social activism. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss what is social activism and its relationship with social entrepreneurship. So, first thing is definition of social activism. What is it? Social activism refers to the efforts of individuals, groups or organizations to bring about social, political, environmental or economic change. Activists engage in various activities to raise awareness, challenge the status quo, advocate for reforms, and push for changes that align with their values, often aiming to address social injustices, inequalities, or environmental degradation. So, it involves collective action to make significant systemic changes in society, whether locally, nationally, or globally. Activism is typically driven by the belief that existing systems, policies, or conditions are unjust, unfair, or harmful to specific communities or society as a whole. Social activists work to highlight these issues, create awareness, and push for reforms or changes that can lead to a more just and equitable society. So, people they are unhappy with the existing systems, rules, policies, and other things. So, they fight for the push for reforms or changes, and they want to have a just and equitable society without any discrimination. Characteristics of social activism. Purpose driven. Social activism is driven by a clear social, political, or environmental cause. It could address issues like human rights, climate change, racial justice, gender equality, poverty, or healthcare. Collective action. So, activism often involves group efforts, group of people, they form a movement, whether it's through grassroots organizing, protest strikes, or collaborative campaigns. Non-violent resistance. While some forms of activism may use force, though not always encouraged, many activists emphasize non-violent forms such as peaceful protest, demonstrations, sit-ins, petitions, and civil disobedience. Advocacy and public engagement. Activists engage in campaigns, organize events, or participate in protests and rallies to generate public awareness, influence policy, and mobilize people to take action. It focuses on it aims at changing societal norms, behaviors, laws, and policies that are perceived as unjust or harmful. So, what are the types of social activism? So, environmental activism. So, this activism focuses on protecting the environment, combating climate change, advocating for sustainability, and pushing for policies that reduce pollution and conserve natural resources. For example, the Fridays for Future movement, initiated by Greta Thunberg, raised awareness about climate change globally. Next one is human rights activism. This activism campaigns and movements for defending and promoting human rights. Examples include the civil rights movement in the US, LGBTQ rights movement, and campaigns for gender equality. The fight for the right to vote, anti-slavery movements, and freedom of speech are also examples of this human rights activism. Social justice activism. Here, the activists work in the area. They also advocate for equality, fairness, and justice for marginalized or oppressed groups. They work to address systemic inequalities such as racial discrimination, poverty, gender inequality, and access to education or healthcare. Types of social activism. There are so many types of social activism. One is political activism. Political activists challenge the political system, often seeking to reform or overhaul government structures, policies, or laws. They might engage in protests, lobbying, and grassroots movements to change political decision-making processes. The Arab Spring is a recent example where political activism led to the downfall of governments in several Middle Eastern countries. Economic activism. This includes efforts to address issues of wealth inequality, workers' rights, fair trade, or economic justice. For example, workers organizing for better wages, conditions, or benefits is a form of economic activism. The fight for a living wage or against exploitative labor practices in companies like Amazon is part of economic activism. Methods of social activism. How do they express their displeasure? People, those who are unhappy, they have to express their displeasure, unhappiness to the rulers. So, how do they do that? Protest and demonstrations. So, activists organize marches, rallies, and public protests to demonstrate dissatisfaction with policies or raise awareness about a cause. These public demonstrations help mobilize communities and can attract media attention. Petitions and campaigns. So, online and offline petitions are often used to gather support for a cause. Activists also create social media campaigns, advertisements, and awareness materials to amplify their messages and pressure decision makers. Civil disobedience movement. This nonviolent resistance tactic involves breaking the law to challenge unjust policies or conditions. Examples include sit ins during the civil rights movement or climate change protest groups like Extinction Rebellion. Next one is boycotts and disinvestments. Activists may call for boycotts of companies or products that contribute to social or environmental harm. Disinvestment campaigns ask institutions like universities and governments to withdraw investments from companies that negatively impact social justice or the environment. Next one is advocacy and lobbying. Activists work with legislators and policymakers to push for legal reforms, often by creating alliances, drafting legislation, or raising public awareness on pressing issues. Successful examples include lobbying for changes in labor laws, disability rights, and healthcare reforms. Art and cultural activism. Some activists use art, music, theatre, and other forms of culture to spread their message. Street art, protests through music, and films are common methods for engaging broader audiences. Social activism in the digital age. So, the rise of digital platforms has greatly amplified the reach and the impact of social activism. Social media. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok have become tools for raising awareness, mobilizing supporters, and organizing protests. Activists can share their message with millions globally in an instant, as seen with the hashtag #MeToo movement or Black Lives Matter. Hashtags and online movements. Hashtags like Black Lives Matter, Me Too, and Climate Strike have helped to organize campaigns, spread awareness, and bring attention to social issues on a global scale. Crowdfunding and online petitions. Platforms like GoFundMe, Kickstarter, and Change.org have allowed activists to fundraise, gather support, and petition for causes with international reach. Impact of social activism. Social activism can have far reaching effects, including policy changes. Activism often leads to policy reform, such as the legalization of same sex marriage or the passing of laws protecting voting rights. Cultural shifts. Activists challenge societal norms and behaviors. For example, feminist movements have shifted perceptions around gender roles and equality. Increased awareness. By educating the public, activists can increase awareness and prompt a wider conversation about issues like climate change, racial justice, or poverty. Global movements. Activism has sparked global movements that transcend borders, such as the global call for climate action and anti corruption movements. Challenges in social activism. Repression and backlash. Activists often face government crackdowns, censorship, and even violence. For example, the Tiananmen Square protests in China or the suppression of the Arab Spring. Fragmentation. Activism can sometimes become fragmented with different groups working towards similar goals but with differing methods or ideologies, diluting the impact. Sustainability. Long term activism requires sustained commitment, resources, and public engagement, and it can be difficult to maintain momentum for social change over time. Conclusion. Social activism plays a crucial role in challenging systemic problems, advocating for marginalized groups, and driving social, political, and environmental change. While the path to change can be challenging, social activists, through collective action, innovation, and education, have the power to shape the future of societies and create more equitable and just systems for all. We have discussed what is social activism, methods of social activism, types of social activism. Now let us discuss in the upcoming slides its relationship with social entrepreneurship. Social activism and social entrepreneurship both aim to solve societal problems. While social activism often seeks to influence public opinion, policy, and societal norms, social entrepreneurship focuses on using innovative business solutions to create social impact. Relationship. Both work toward creating positive change, but activism is more focused on advocacy and awareness, while social entrepreneurship seeks sustainable solutions that generate long term impact. Example. Greta Thunberg's activism pushes governments to take action on climate change, while social entrepreneurs like Patagonia incorporate sustainability in their business model to reduce environmental harm. Definition of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Social activism involves pushing for change through protests, campaigns, and public engagement, often focused on social, political, or environmental issues. Social entrepreneurship involves creating organizations or ventures that use business principles to address social issues in a sustainable way. Relationship. Social activism can create the momentum needed for social entrepreneurship by raising awareness of societal issues, while social entrepreneurs create solutions that are scalable and sustainable. Example. Activists demand action against poverty, and social entrepreneurs establish microfinance organizations like Grameen Bank to provide financial services to underserved communities. Characteristics of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Both social entrepreneurship and social activism share same characteristics such as purpose-driven work, collective action, and the goal of making a positive impact. However, social activism typically involves advocacy, while social entrepreneurship involves innovation and sustainable business practices. Relationship. Social entrepreneurs often arise from activist movements, turning awareness into action through business models that offer lasting solutions. Activism can help raise public awareness, which social entrepreneurs can turn into a marketable solution. Example. The Body Shop, founded by Anita Roddick, started with a vision to change the beauty industry by advocating against animal testing and promoting ethical business practices. The importance. Social activism is very crucial for creating awareness and pressure for change, while social entrepreneurship addresses root cause by providing practical solutions. Relationship. Activism sets the stage for social entrepreneurship by influencing public opinion, creating the demand for solutions, and often pushing for policy reforms that make the market more favorable for social enterprises. Example. The Fair Trade movement advocates for ethical trading practices, which led to the growth of social enterprises that sell fair trade products like Fair Trade certified coffee. Types of social entrepreneurship and social activism. There are different types of activism: human rights, environmental, political, etc., and social entrepreneurship, non-profits, for-profits, hybrid models, etc. Both focus on creating social change but operate through different mechanisms. Relationship: social activism can inspire different types of social entrepreneurship, whether through a direct advocacy or creating market-based solutions that align with activist goals. Example: Greenpeace, that is environmental activism, influences social entrepreneurs like Tesla to create sustainable energy solutions. Environmental activism and social entrepreneurship. Environmental activism seeks to raise awareness and advocate for changes in how societies interact with the environment. Social entrepreneurship addresses these issues by developing sustainable solutions such as eco-friendly products or renewable energy solutions. Relationship: activism raises the urgency and importance of environmental issues, which drives social entrepreneurs to develop green technologies, sustainable products, and services. Example: Extinction of Rebellion advocates for urgent climate action, prompting entrepreneurs like Solar City to develop affordable solar solutions. Human rights activism and social entrepreneurship. Human rights activism advocates for fundamental freedoms and equality, while social entrepreneurship works to create solutions that ensure these rights are upheld through economic, social, and technological means. So, what's the relationship? Activism draws attention to human rights abuses, which social entrepreneurs address by developing businesses that empower marginalized communities. Example: Amnesty International fights for the rights of refugees, and social entrepreneurs create solutions like affordable housing projects or job training for displaced persons. Social justice activism addresses inequalities based on race, gender, income, and more, while social entrepreneurship works toward provide systemic solutions that reduce the disparities through innovative business models. So, what's the relationship? Activists highlight the problems on inequality and injustice, while social entrepreneurs address by providing services and products that empower marginalized groups. Example: the Black Lives Matter movement calls for racial equality, which has led to the creation of social enterprises focused on empowering Black-owned businesses or improving access to education for underserved communities. Political activism and social entrepreneurship. Political activism aims to influence political systems and structures to bring about change, while social entrepreneurship operates within those systems to develop solutions that meet social needs. Relationship: political activism creates a supportive environment for social enterprises by advocating for policies that encourage social impact businesses. Example: the Arab Spring led to political change, and social entrepreneurs subsequently launched businesses that address post-revolution needs such as education and healthcare. Methods of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Activism uses protests, petitions, civil disobedience, and advocacy, while social entrepreneurship relies on innovation, business strategies, and market-driven solutions. Relationship: activism and social entrepreneurship can complement each other. Activism can rise to awareness and create demand for solutions, while social entrepreneurship offers sustainable, scalable solutions. Example: Malala Yousafzai's activism for girls' education inspired the creation of organizations like Girl Rising, a social enterprise that empowers girls through education. The role of social media in activism and social entrepreneurship. Social media is a tool used by both social activists and social entrepreneurs to spread their messages, raise awareness, and connect with a global audience. So, what is the relationship? Activists use social media to mobilize and advocate for change, while social entrepreneurs use the platform to promote solutions, gather support, and build community. Example, Me Too movement. It raised awareness of sexual harassment, and social entrepreneurs have launched platforms like Lean In to help women overcome barriers in the workplace. Protests and demonstrations and social entrepreneurship. Protests and demonstrations are traditional forms of activism, and social entrepreneurship can arise from these movements by offering market based solutions that address the causes of the protest. Relationship. Activism often catalyzes social entrepreneurship by drawing attention to the need for business solutions in addressing social problems. Example, the Montgomery bus boycott inspired the rise of bus businesses focused on transportation equality, such as ride sharing companies aimed at providing affordable and accessible transportation. Civil disobedience and social entrepreneurship. Civil disobedience is a non-violent form of protest, and social entrepreneurship focuses on creating businesses that resolve issues highlighted through the civil disobedience. Why civil disobedience raises awareness and forces attention on systemic issues. Social entrepreneurs design and implement solutions that aim for long-term change. Example, Gandhi's Salt March inspired social entrepreneurs to establish cooperative industries that supported economic independence for communities. Lobbying and advocacy and social entrepreneurship. Lobbying and advocacy are ways to influence laws and policies, and social entrepreneurship operates in a regulatory movement shaped by these outfits. So, activism through lobbying can create an environment where social entrepreneurship can thrive by influencing policy decisions that support social enterprises. The Affordable Care Act was influenced by healthcare activities, leading social entrepreneurs to create insurance startups and health tech solutions. Online campaigns and petitions and social entrepreneurship. Online petitions and campaigns are common tools in activism, and they can lead to the creation of social enterprises that addresses the issues raised. Activist campaigns can build momentum for social enterprises, providing the public demand and legitimacy for their business solutions. Example, petitions for climate action influence the rise of businesses like Tesla, which focuses on sustainable energy and electric vehicles. The impact of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Both social activism and social entrepreneurship contribute to long-term societal change. The impact is very much there. Activism by raising awareness and driving policy change, and entrepreneurship by creating solutions. Social entrepreneurship leverages the momentum of activism to implement tangible, scalable solutions. Example, the rise of the fair trade movement helped social enterprises flourish, ensuring ethical trading practices for workers in developing countries. Challenges. Both face challenges like repression, lack of resources, and resistance to change. Social entrepreneurs may encounter resistance from political and business systems, even from competitors, while activists face pushback from authorities and institutions. So, activists against child labor face resistance, while social entrepreneurs create businesses that promote ethical labor practices. Fragmentation of movements and social entrepreneurship. Social activism movements can become fragmented when different groups or individuals within the movement pursue varying methods or goals. This fragmentation can lead to challenges in achieving consensus or unified progress. Social entrepreneurs often navigate fragmented activism landscapes, selecting particular focus areas that allow them to address specific aspects of the problem. Entrepreneurs can bring unity to fragmented efforts by creating structured, scalable solutions. Example, the feminist movement has multiple factions, such as those focused on women's rights, reproductive rights, and gender equality. Social entrepreneurs have worked within these movements to create businesses like Things, which creates reusable period products with a focus on accessibility and sustainability. Sustaining momentum in social activism and social entrepreneurship. While initial activism movements can create a surge of public interest, sustaining momentum for long term change can be difficult. Activists often struggle with burnout, a lack of resources, and changing public focus. Social entrepreneurs play a key role in sustaining momentum by offering tangible, long term solutions that keep people engaged and committed. By demonstrating measurable outcomes and sustainable impact, social enterprises ensure that activism does not lose its momentum. The Fridays for Future Climate Change movement has generated significant attention, but social enterprises like Tesla and SolarCity provide sustainable solutions that ensure ongoing commitment to green energy. Global movements in social activism and social entrepreneurship. Many social activism movements have crossed borders, forming global networks aimed at solving universal issues such as poverty, climate change, and human rights violations. Global activism paves the way for international social enterprises. Activism brings attention to global issues, while social entrepreneurs provide scalable, adaptable solutions that can be implemented across various regions. Example, the Global Goals for Sustainable Development (SDGs) promote worldwide action on key issues. Social entrepreneurs such as Toms have created business models, one for one model, that address global issues like poverty and lack of access to education. The role of NGOs in social activism and social entrepreneurship. Non governmental organizations often play a pivotal role in social activism by advocating for policy changes, raising awareness, and providing resources to underserved populations. Social enterprises frequently collaborate with NGOs to amplify their impact. NGOs provide grassroots support and advocate for policy changes, while social entrepreneurs bring innovative, scalable solutions to the challenges identified by activists. Oxfam is an NGO that advocates for reducing poverty and inequality. Social entrepreneurs like Kickstart International work with Oxfam to provide affordable agricultural pumps to farmers in Africa, improving water access and food security. The future of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Social activism will continue to evolve with advancements in technology, changing societal needs, and the global focus on sustainable development. Activists are increasingly relying on digital platforms to influence change and mobilize support. Social entrepreneurship will play a pivotal role in addressing future challenges by utilizing innovative business models to solve social issues. Entrepreneurs will continue to work alongside activists to bring attention to causes and implement lasting solutions. The rise of digital activism and social entrepreneurship, such as Bumble's social mission to encourage safer dating practices and advocate for female empowerment, reflects the growing intersection between technology, activism, and entrepreneurship. So, conclusion, bridging social activism and social entrepreneurship. Social activism and social entrepreneurship are two sides of the same coin, both striving for a better world. While activism raises awareness and pushes for change, social entrepreneurship creates solutions that make this change sustainable and tangible. By working together, activism and entrepreneurship can create a more robust, long lasting impact on social issues. Activism ensures a clear, urgent message, while social entrepreneurship ensures that actionable, sustainable solutions follow through. Example, the One campaign, led by activists like Bono, seeks to reduce extreme poverty. Entrepreneurs have joined this movement by creating businesses that promote fair trade and provide economic opportunities to marginalized communities. Thank you.